less, right? If we want that, the better income, the better relationship, the better wardrobe in general, it doesn't all of a sudden just poof happen and you wake up and you're like, of course, I'm finally the person I want to be. I'll start dressing as her today. How fabulous. And all the income's in my bank. But we have to practice being that person. And
we've got to give our heart a reason to beat. And some of us are barely breathing and calling it a life, but we need to live a life that takes our breath away.
And there's two places where I have to be the man: in the gym and on the track. And there's a fine line in sports where some people take that outside of those arenas.
I had my struggles, and my struggles are not going to be his struggles. He doesn't have friends that get killed by gang violence. He has to deal with a very, very different kind of struggle. And I dropped 20 things, and I needed my son to understand that at the end of the day, hurt people hurt people.
5 minutes of just true attention, one-on-one, eye-to-eye, just true intention. At times that's all that you need.
I have a do it now philosophy because, 100% of the things I do now get done.
Hey, Dr. Julie.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You know what? This last year, 2023, was pretty incredible. We had some pretty amazing interviews. So I thought that we should do a montage or an all-star interview / thingamajigger.
Like a recap?
Yes, a recap. That's exactly it. I want to do a 2023 recap of our best interviews. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Because we had the opportunity to interview David Meltzer, Christie Ressel, Dom Faussette, Chance Weber, Jeff Griffin, and LaShawn Merritt. Just to name a few.
You know what? And I think sometimes, if I would take myself out of our relationships that we know, I would think, well, who are these people? I don't know who these people are.
Well, yeah.
And we didn't know who some of these people were either until with our relationships that we were able to be in the same room with these people.
Yeah.
And ultimately learn business, but truly who these people ultimately were. And why I like what we do with this podcast is we take it from an angle of some of these people get interviewed all of the time, and it's usually on their career. It's the Olympic success, or it's the business success. It's the money of losing everything and coming back.
Canned questions.
But we talk about the family, the foundation, where God plays a role in everything that they do. And so that is why I think we handpicked all of our guests for this show, because they mean so much to us. They resonate with us, and we wanted to share that with all of our viewers.
Yes. Well, I hope that you guys enjoy this recap of 2023. It has been an awesome year with you. Let's go. So our first interview is going to be right off the bat, Dr. Julie. We got David Meltzer.
Oh, man. He's such a great guy, a wonderful friend.
Close personal friend.
Just
humble,
incredible
person.
And, man, his story and what he means to us I don't know, it kind of leaves me speechless. He does that a lot to me.
Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this excerpt from Abundant Mindsets of Successful Parents.
I weighted my balance because I wanted to be present for her. So the majority of my time was spent with Marlena. Now, I still spend a minimum of an hour on my health. I still spend 30 minutes with Julie. I still spend 30 minutes with Miles and 2 minutes with my other daughters. And I still called my mom for a minimum of a minute. And I still studied my calendar for a minimum of 10 minutes. So I ended up doing some activities I get paid for while everybody was sleeping and all the different things of non-time versus scheduled time. And through this, it aggregates, it compounds, and it accelerates time, allowing me to be more productive, more accessible, and more gracious with my time, and also providing me more options, opportunities, and touches of favor to appear as if I have more than other people have. I've a better family life, a better marriage. I have a better relationship with my mom. I have better health. I have better wealth. I have better happiness. That's because I've been aggregating what I want in the trajectory of what I think I want and clearing the meanings of the defined moments, setbacks, and failures from punishment to protection and promotion. I have a do it now philosophy because 100% of the things I do now get done. But I've also added to that since I've known you two. I have a do it now and know what you're going to do next attitude. And in order to do it now and know what I'm going to do next, I need to know what's important to me today. And so those people that know what they're doing now and know what they want to do next, they have an antidote to the biggest cause of fear, void, shortages, and obstacles that we create in our perception, which is procrastination and feeling overwhelmed. First of all, when people tell me they feel overwhelmed, I said, take a minute and say thank you. And they're like, what are you talking about, crazy man? I said, honestly, if you're overwhelmed, that means you have too many options, too many opportunities, and too many touches of favor. That sounds like abundance to me, Skip and Julie. So why don't you take a second to be grateful that you have so many options, opportunities, and touches of favor? Now let me teach you to prioritize by knowing what you want, who you can help, who can help you, and how best that get that done with lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. Yeah, there's 3 things for all my kids that I focus in on, and I try to keep it simple. I want to make sure they do 3 things every day. Do their best at whatever they're doing. So if, they're helping me clean the garage, my expectation is you're going to do your best at it. If you're going to be playing in a game, you're going to do your best. If you're doing your homework, you're going to do your best. Second, I want you to learn lessons from everything. See, when I teach them, you talk about God-fearing. When I teach the lesson of lessons, it incorporates faith. Because if you're looking for the lessons, you're already admitting or establishing faith. Because when I'm looking for the lessons, pain, setbacks, failures, and mistakes are just indicators that I have a lesson to learn. They're not a punishment. And so it inspires me when I do my best and learn lessons. And then finally, the third thing is I need you to have fun with everything you do. Notice my philosophy of happiness is enjoying the consistent every day, persistent without quit, pursuit of your potential. So I make sure that they're not competing with their dad, they're not competing with their mom or their siblings, their friends, Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn. None of that exists in their world. I'm teaching them to enjoy the pursuit of their potential. And the best way to contact me is my email that's right there, david@dmeltzer.com. Put it in the notes, send it to all your friends and family. I don't care, when or how you listen to this. David@dmeltzer.com. I'm David Meltzer on Google and every other platform. Please reach out to me. I live my life of service. I'm trying to build a community of people that want to help each other and know people that want to help each other. And you two certainly fit that bill.
So one of my favorite podcasts that was really pivotal for me was with our really good friend, Christie Ressel. And we know of her for a long time, but we wanted to make sure that she was on podcast. And for all of you ladies that are looking to up-level your style,
And guys too. And guys,
some of the tips that she goes through with us on this episode was perfect as we go into the new year. If we want to be looking a little bit slimmer, how we get rid of that muffin top. All of those top secrets were one of my favorites with this podcast.
Yeah, so enjoy this excerpt from Christie Ressel, Rise Through Style and Empowerment Through Fashion.
With you, and it's one of those things, right, where we just don't realize sometimes the amount of things that we accumulate in our closet over the years, just from shopping that we've done, pleasant afternoons out, if we get a break or a moment to ourselves. And sometimes before we know it, we blink and you kind of look at things, you go, oh my gosh, where did all this stuff come from? And it's a situation where sometimes that can leave us in a state of overwhelm or even feeling lost because there's a million different personalities hanging out in our closet. So it's nice for all of us, myself included, even when I look in my own closet, to say, okay, it's time to do a bit of a call. We need to refresh on things here and make sure that it's in alignment with what I want for myself. Style is a form of leadership, I think, really, because we have to lead ourselves and raise our own standard if we want the standard of our life to also raise. And that begins with us, right? If we want that, the better income, the better relationship, the better wardrobe in general, it doesn't all of a sudden just poof happen and you wake up and you're like, of course. I'm fine with the person I want to be. I'll start dressing as her today. How fabulous. And all the income's in my bank. But we have to practice being that person. And so if we want that wardrobe, if we want that energy, if we want the lovely things around us, it starts by leading ourselves with also treating ourselves with that same level of leadership, respect, and high quality. And again, that just goes into the self-care that we start with at the beginning of the day. So if it's a choice truly to feel better, and this doesn't mean you have to be dressed to the nines, but if it's just a matter of simply choosing how you want to feel during the day, why not choose one that empowers you and makes you feel like you've stepped into a new standard for yourself? I think from them, just go get a proper fitting just so you know what your size is, because if the girls are sitting properly, the whole rest of the outfit will look different, right? Whereas if you look like you can tuck them into your waistband, that's a totally different vibe that we're not going for. So it'll make you feel empowered just to have some beautiful undergarments that properly support you and make your clothing look beautiful, just like. And so it's not you, it's not your body that needs to change its shape. You don't need to lose weight. It's nothing like that. We just got to change the pant because it's not the right cut for you. And so shape, right? And so like anything, style is a tool. And so the more you invest in learning about this for yourself, the more confident you will become and the more informed your purchases can be like down the road, which is really, it's empowering, but also impactful both for your wallet and the closet and image that you ultimately want to project for yourself. So they can either come to my podcast, which is Rise Through Style. I also have my Instagram, which is my name, Christie Ressel. And I'm kind of on all the social media platforms, though. So if you just type in my name, you will certainly find me. And I've got things on YouTube as well that you can have a search. And I've got lots of fashion videos there for people.
Man, Dr. Julie, one of my favorite interviews this year was Dom Faussette. Dom is one that we had been trying to get on for over 2 years. Incredible individual, cop, retired police officer, retired military vet. Believe Dom was a Marine. Just an incredible person.
His story, I mean, he's been through just a lot, and I think that's what makes him so relatable to us and to our viewers, that he just has a message that's going to resonate with everyone.
Well, and he talks a lot about thinking, reacting, and leading, and how we do it in parenting, how we do it in business. And honestly, it was one of the interviews this year that got back some of the most emailed questions and some of the best results. So enjoy Dom Faussette.
You know, we've heard the phrase, it takes a village. I've come too far and I know too many people for me to think that I have to raise my son on my own.
Right.
And in all of that, whether your kid's fat and gets teased at school, if your kid's fat, trust me, he's getting teased at school, right? If your kid stutters, I stuttered my whole life, they're getting teased at school. If your kid gets straight A's and looks good, he's getting teased at school. Like every kid gets teased. And I think as a parent, we need to take the time to have conversations with our kids. I grew up in a different environment, right? Like I grew up in a gang environment, and my parents were both my parents are military. So, you know, if I wake up on Monday morning and I do something bad and I get punched in the mouth on my way to school, I got loose teeth, and that's just, you know, it is what it is. And then getting in fights at school and, you know, carrying a knife to school just in case, because I was small in high school, in case somebody tried to fight me, I could stab them. Like this was my life. It made me who I am, but it also made me who I am. And this message comes across my son's phone that says, "Hey, Nigger." And I looked at the phone and I asked my son as he's sitting in that chair, I said, "Son, do you know who this is?" He said, "No, I don't care." And I said, "Does this happen often at school?" And he just breaks down. I had my struggles, and my struggles are not going to be his struggles. He doesn't have friends that get killed by gang violence. He has to deal with a very, very different kind of struggle. I just had to be very honest with him and tell him, you know, that is a very minute percentage of the world that looks at you like that. When somebody calls you a name, you don't understand what this 12-year-old boy is going through, or 13-year-old boy is going through at home. I dropped 20 things, and I needed my son to understand that at the end of the day, hurt people. your sons need to see you as a man interact with other men. And he did that in this post. And I thought, wow, like how important is that? Because I can't do it on my own. He has to see variations of what strong men look like. Great. Shoot me a text 602-481-0650. That's 602-481-0650.
That's
was good radio
that's
voice.
that you got that radio voice down. I know your radio show too. It's
Marriage, family, and business in that exact order. Who would that remind you of?
Chance Weber.
Chance Weber. Dang right, Chance Weber.
This podcast, that episode with him was just really good for me.
Yeah.
Because again, I think sometimes we meet these people and we don't get to see that side of him.
No.
And he even after the show surprised himself of like, gosh, I didn't think you were going to ask me those questions.
Yeah.
But just that one really hit home for me.
Yeah, Chance was incredible. And like you said, he was more blown away about the questions that we asked him. They weren't all cookie cutter branding, social media junk. It was all about his family and how he was successful. So enjoy these few from Chance Weber.
Mentor of mine, but Joel Marion, he always said that your life has to go in priority this way: God 1, marriage 2, kids 3. And I used to think about that. The first time I heard it, I was like, man, like nobody talks about putting their marriage before their kids. But if your marriage is unhealthy, your kids are paying those consequences. They feel that tension. They know you're fighting. They know things aren't well at home. So it's something that, you know, since hearing that at a very young, I mean, hell, I was only probably married a couple years, if even that, when I heard that for the first time from him, I was just, it stuck with me. And that's been, you know, years at this point. And I still try to do that. It's like, okay, you know, I feel like I need to be a dad, but is everything okay in the marriage right now? Are we aligned? Because I got to actually focus there first. Kids aren't dumb, even at 3 and 6, even if they don't completely comprehend what's going on, they still feel it, right? Like they still know there's something. But I've always said, I live by this constantly. Kids rarely hear everything you say, but they see everything that you do. And that is so true. They see everything that you do. They see, and look, I'm not perfect. I'm a perfectionist. When things don't go my way, I'm irritated. I do bring my work home sometimes, and I wish I didn't. I am a very flawed human being, just like everybody else, right? I mean, I think that's just part of it. I don't want to paint this picture like I'm some wonder husband and wonder dad. Like I have problems. I'm fighting battles just like everybody else is, right? 5 minutes of just true attention, one-on-one, eye-to-eye, just true intention at times that's all that you need. And I'm one of the 1, 2, or 3 out of 100 that actually genuinely loves what I want to do. And work isn't so hard when you're doing what you love. So to me, it's more so about empowering my kids to be who they want to be. And I understand that what they want to do at 15 is going to change at 16. And then let's say they go to college and then at 22, they're going to have a major in XYZ. They're probably going to completely walk away from it. It's going to be nothing and go do something. I get it. You know, like I've always said, that's why our education system is so broken. You can't ask an 18-year-old kid to make a decision on what the hell they're going to do for the rest of their life when they've never even worked anywhere or done anything or touched anything. Exactly. I can't, I hate it. I can't stand it. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
Dr. Skip.
Yeah, what's
one of our more recent podcasts, and especially with the time of the year that we're in and everything that's happened in the housing market, Bo Parfet was a really great guest that we had on this show. We talked about housing, we talked about like his background, but we also talked about overcoming obstacles. And I remember first meeting him, and I felt silly because I didn't do my research before meeting him. And here he is, this world-renowned speaker, but climber. Mountaineer.
And
here I am asking him some silly, like novice climbing questions, and here he is just I do a little bit of climbing.
Yeah, he's world elite, and he also solves the world's housing crisis. Just absolutely incredible individual. Bo Parfet, I hope you guys enjoy these excerpts. It was a phenomenal interview. Absolutely brilliant.
And he said, he goes, "Can I give you a gift?" I said, "Yeah." And, we didn't know each other that well, but he was basically saying, "Can I give you one of God's gifts?" Is really what he was saying. And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to hear it." He said, if you climb Kilimanjaro for something bigger than yourself, you're going to discover that you have more energy than you could possibly imagine. And he said, now think about that, get out of my office and come back to me. Think about that. This isn't about me. I'm just going to do my part and climb this mountain. This is really about these two doctors and all the lives they're going to save.
Mm-hmm.
So to date, every year we call all the doctors that we've created and we ask them, how many lives did you save this year? And we're over 400,000 lives saved.
Oh my!
And our goal is 1 million. Isn't that cool? And we've had this crisis in America since 1776.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since this great country was founded, is for people to find a place to live that's safe, clean, and affordable.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first time in the U.S., the average American is spending more than 30% of their income on rent.
Yeah,
Many Americans spend 50, 60, 70% of their income on rent. And it is without question, Dr. Skip and Dr. Julie, a crisis. This is a crisis. And there's a shortage of about 5 to 7 million of these units in America.
We've got 2 left. It was these last ones were incredible, but coming off of just some of our most recent, Jeff Griffin was phenomenal. Paralympic athlete in basketball, incredible life story, how he became paralyzed. But Jeff, when we met Jeff just made an amazing impact on you and I both. Just the brilliancy behind how he presents, how he talks, and just what you can learn from Jeff's story is incredible. I hope that you got as much out of it as I did.
Yeah, I mean, he is a person that, man, he's been given a hand of cards, and he could have done, I think, what the majority of the world does and been a woe me. And yeah, but I think this is what, everything happens for a reason. And he was meant to be so much bigger, and this needed to happen for him to be able to reach so many more people.
It sure did. So I hope you enjoy Jeff Griffin, because he gives you a reason for your heart to beat, and he gives you a reason for your soul to sing.
This song that sings inside our soul, I've discovered over these years that is what is key. We've got to give our heart a reason to beat. Mm-hmm. And some of us are barely breathing and calling into life, but we need to live a life that takes our breath away. And in order to do that, we've got to learn how to dream. We've got to learn how to listen to that song that sings inside our soul. Oh my, great. Absolutely. Let that person dream, because when we tell people what they can't do, what's interesting is that word can't, can't is so poisonous. It's so debilitating and so limiting. And as soon as you tell yourself that you can't, your mind accepts it. And then, you're not going to come up with a solution. And so every minute you doubt it's possible, you give up 60 seconds in finding the solution. And so what I say to that is, parents, let your kids dream. If your kid is in a wheelchair and wants to be in the NHL, hockey league, let them do that. Let them plan, let them dream, let them prepare, and let them start to take those steps to see what it will take to become that. Not trying and quitting is the opposite of success. And so what is success? To me, it's KFC. It's not the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's not the finger licking good, but it is finger licking good. And success means KFC is you got to know what you want, which goes back to the dream. You've got to finish what you start. There's a ton of starters out there, not much finishers, which goes back to the do. And then you've got to celebrate the process.
Last but not least, probably one of my favorite interviews of the year. They were all incredible, but we got the opportunity to interview LaShawn Merritt, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 10-time world champ, fastest sprinter on earth at one point in his career, top 3 in the world. Kind, amazing, incredible. The reason why we interviewed LaShawn is to show people what elite athletes are like outside of their world, outside of their profession. And they're just like everybody else. But they're successful in their sport, just like parents are successful, just like business owners are successful. They all have very, very strong foundational attributes.
It has everything to do with the foundation and the skill set that goes along with it, and everything that we put into our head and our mind and the way that we process things. And so it's to say, look, anybody could be an Olympic athlete,
Mm-hmm.
but it has everything to do with that foundation.
Yeah, God, family,
Mm-hmm.
foundational support of his parents, his brother, like just incredible. And I hope you guys enjoy these excerpts. LaShawn was phenomenal.
I had a mentor growing up. He taught me the importance of hard work and dedication, picking something and sticking to it. So I can remember him calling me 12:30 sometimes after midnight to come in and sit with him and watch film and run up and down the hallways. So I had great people around me who wanted the best for me. So when I started in high school and I was running well, I actually trained at school. Then I would leave school and go to another training, and then sometimes have 3 trainings in one. You know, failure is the secret ingredient to success. You know, you have to go through these things. The lessons that's taught and the failures are the lessons that propel you. And I failed a lot. I can remember in 2012. 2012 was an Olympic year. I had an undefeated season up until 3 weeks before the Olympic Games. I was in Monte Carlo, and I pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
I was on my way to be the second 400-meter runner ever to win gold in the 400, the 2 Olympics back to back. And I was feeling so good. I remember I was in Monte Carlo, the only competition that year that I didn't bring my chiropractor. I got up in the top of the curve. I had 150 meters left, and I felt a cramp. I felt a little bit before I went in that my balance was a little off, but I believed in my training and everything. And that race, it was a tough one. It was a tough one because I was picked to win. I was number 1 in the world. I never knew if I was going to win, but in my mind, I was the man. And there's 2 places where I have to be the man: in the gym and on the track. And there's a fine line in sports where some people take that outside of those arenas. I do what I got to do during those moments. Then you get in life and you get out of the gym and you get out of the track and you're human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you are a man, but you're not the man to everybody. And that's okay. I'm human. I'm my parents' child. I'm a child of God. And I realized the way to maximize that potential, I feel, was continuing to be happy along my journey.
What a great year. 2023 was just absolutely awesome.
It was. I'm looking forward to 2024 and how many more people that we're going to have the opportunity to interview, how many more questions that our viewers are going to send into us that we can help support them and, you know, give back to them and lead them and to be able to bless them with the things that we've been able to learn and our knowledge and skill set and to be able to pass that on to them and their families.
2024 is going to be amazing. Maybe a couple new formats. Maybe a couple new wrinkles to the fold that I'm going to throw at you and surprise you with.
Ooh,
but
I
can't wait. I can't wait. I think it's going to be phenomenal. So I hope you guys enjoy 2023 with us. Thank you so much for being a part of our listenership, our subscribers. If you know anybody out there that could benefit from our podcast, benefit from hearing Julie and I on a weekly basis, please share this with them, subscribe to us, like us, and just like in our business at Prime Family Chiropractic Centers. It's the trust that we've developed with our families that makes us so successful. And we've hopefully done that with you. So we look forward to 2024. Take care, everybody. Bye.